Hey, what's going on, you guys? Jordan over here at the Movie Den. I hope you guys are doing well. So today what I want to talk about is this going to be part of my ongoing series where I am going over each of my boutique labels and really just going over my collection is really what I'm doing. So today we are talking about Vinegar Syndrome. Now, I've seen some of your guys' collections of Vinegar Syndrome out there, especially the ones who have the subscriptions. And I'll tell you, I have a very humble Vinegar Syndrome collection compared to a lot of those that I've seen out there, because some of you guys have tons and I'm jealous, but I'm kind of picky with some of my Vinegar Syndrome titles, so let that be what it may. But let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to start off with my VSUs. And we're going to start right at the top with a banger. It's either this one or another one is my favorite Vinegar Syndrome title that I currently own. But right here we got the VSU of Roadhouse. Patrick Swayze, Sam Elliott. I love this movie. The only issue that I've noticed with this, it's not even part of the movie. What it is the Vinegar Syndromes. It's the audio. The rear channels have a slight delay. And it's mainly in the music in the bar scenes, which is a lot of the movie. But other than that, absolutely love this. This is probably one of my favorite releases that I currently own. So there you are, my first VSU, Roadhouse. So my next VSU that I have, and I don't have a lot of them, but this next one I've got, this was a semi-recent one, Congo. This is a fun movie. The transfer on this looks phenomenal, especially the end where the volcano erupts. And I enjoy this movie. And it's funny because all the gorillas in this movie are people in suits. But there's a couple scenes. They do a really good job with this. I mean, there are scenes where it's clearly someone in a costume. And then there's other scenes that, you almost are tricked thinking it's a real gorilla. But awesome release. Congo. And my last VSU that I currently own, I do still need to check this one out. I've seen the movie, just haven't watched this particular release yet. Virtuosity. I remember enjoying this years ago. I'm excited to check it out again. I just have so much that I do need to watch. I have quite the back catalog, but there you are, my third and final VSU that I currently own, Virtuosity. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and move on to just the standard Vinegar Syndrome releases. I'm going to start off with the kind of the deluxe, the box sets, you know what I'm talking about. This first one I did a review on, and any of these that I did reviews or other videos about, I'll make sure to link it down below. But Sliver. Now, this movie, I enjoyed it up to a point, and then I just felt like it fell flat for me personally. But leading up to it, I thought it had potential to be a fantastic movie. Just kind of fell short, to be honest with you. But overall, I had a good time. I would watch it again. I mean, at least I should. I bought the movie, right? But there you are, Sliver. So this next one I actually bought off of a buddy of mine, Bearded Film Guy. Thank you so much for hooking me up with this. I've been looking for this for a while, and he had one and got me an amazing deal on it, and I couldn't pass it up. But Scanner Cop 1 and 2, this is with the hard slip on it. There is Scanner Cop 2. These are fun movies, and I haven't watched it since I got it because I've been holding off. I really want to watch Scanners first, just to start off with the original with the new 4K that's coming out. But I love this release. Scanner Cop 1 and 2. So guys, this one started a frenzy online. I think it might be the fastest any title has sold out of Vinegar Syndrome. It's probably this or some other one. You guys probably let me know down in the comments. But we've got The Keep. This is the one with the hard slip on it and everything. I pre-ordered this like minute one, day one, because this was rumored to come out, and unfortunately we did not get the director's cut that we were all hoping for. We just got the standard release. So the movie's all right. It's not the greatest movie out there, but it's semi-enjoyable. But there you are, The Keep. So guys, this next one, I just did a review on it, comparing it between this version and Arrow's version. And guys, go check that out because I let you know which one I do prefer. But we've got Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. This is a fun movie. It's really right up there with the first Texas Chainsaw Massacre, like neck and neck. Texas Chainsaw Massacre might beat it just by a hair just because it's the original, but this is phenomenal. I love Dennis Hopper's character in this movie. But there you are, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. And guys, any of these, if you want to pick up, I'll make sure to link them down below in the description. And if you guys decide to go pick them up over at my favorite place to pick up physical media, the Movie Room, make sure to use my coupon code MovieDen10, and that'll get you a one-time 10% off on any of your physical media from them. So this next one is a Roman Polanski film, and I know some people have their opinions on Roman Polanski. I was just actually talking about this on a live stream with some of my buddies. And can you look past the creator and admire the art? And, I was able to with this one. It was a pretty decent movie. The Tenant. But I will say, the one thing that sets this one apart is this box. I think it's really cool. You got the opening kind of windows from the movie. You guys know if you guys have seen the movie. It's a pretty decent film. I enjoyed it. The Tenant. So guys, those are all my box sets for Vinegar Syndrome, just their regular label. Now we're going to move on to the slipcovers. And funny enough, this was actually my very first Vinegar Syndrome purchase ever. Not even actually from Vinegar Syndrome. This was my very first Vinegar Syndrome title. I got into Vinegar Syndrome very late into the game. Madman. I love this movie, Madman Mars. It's a great film, and this artwork on this looks phenomenal. I gotta say, I do prefer this, at least artwork wise. I prefer it over Arrows. I do know Arrows 4K does have a higher disc size, has I think 100 gig disc, if that's important to you. I just had the Vinegar Syndrome one. I haven't decided if I want to pick up that other one. I got to look into it a little more. But I love this movie. Just a fun slasher campfire movie. Madman. So guys, this movie is ridiculous. It's got Christopher Lee, and I think that's the reason why I like it. But we've got Howling 2, Your Sister is a Werewolf. Of course, the second one to the original Howling. It really picks up right after Howling, and then it kind of does its own thing, right? Yeah, it's quite a bit different, I think, than the original Howling. I obviously prefer Howling better than Howling 2, but this is still a fun, quirky movie. But remember, you have Christopher Lee in it, which saves it. But there you are, Howling 2. So this next one, guys, love this movie. This movie is phenomenal. We have got Fade to Black, and they just announced a Scream Factory 4K. Now, they haven't released if they were going to add any additional special features. I sure hope so, because this release is going to be really hard to beat. But the fact that it's 4K does intrigue me a little bit. I'll have to wait until more information comes out. To be honest, I'll be real with you. I'm probably going to pre-order it day one. But this movie is phenomenal. This movie feels like a movie that was made for people like you and I. You got a film lover who dons the appearance of each of his favorite characters in movies and goes on a killing rampage because he's bullied, really is what it is. But I love this movie. There you are. Fade to Black. So moving on, this one was a 4K, and this was a fun movie. It wasn't the greatest in the world, but it wasn't the worst. But we've got Devil Times 5. Now this one I think has like 2 or 3 different titles. I can't remember off the top of my head. This is one of the ones that I always tell people, this one and another one. You have to go into these Vinegar Syndrome titles expecting that you're not getting these amazing Oscar winner type movies, and they're not going to be the highest quality. Vinegar Syndrome is well known at preserving lost films and giving them the utmost treatment, and some would argue the treatment they deserved. And I love this movie. This is a fun, cheesy, campy movie. A lot of Vinegar Syndrome stuff is, but there you are, Devil Times 5. So guys, this next one, I have talked so highly of this movie. It's up there with my most favorite Vinegar Syndrome releases. Not in terms of packaging and everything, but in terms of the movie itself. Deranged, the Ed Gein story. This is so well done. I love the music in this movie, kind of the main score throughout the movie. I guess you would call it the theme song of the movie, is just this kind of church organ. And that's all it is, but it is such a good movie. This actor, I can't think of his name off the top of my head. He does such a good job as someone who just on the surface seems like a very likable old man who is really crazy and is hiding some very, very big secrets. But highly recommend this movie. You guys need to check this out. Deranged. And guys, this is my last slipcover Vinegar Syndrome title. That's just Vinegar Syndrome. I have some partner titles I'm going to go through as well. But just as far as Vinegar Syndrome, this is my last slip. I have one more that doesn't have a slip. We're going to save that till the end. But this was a fun movie. I really like this one. Blood Tracks. You have an 80s hair metal, glam metal, whatever you want to call them, band going out into the mountains and the snow to shoot a music video called Blood Tracks. And there's a feral family that is in the mountains that are hiding in this like abandoned like factory, and they go out and kill them. That's what the movie is. They do explain where the family came from at the beginning of the movie. It's just a short little like maybe 10-minute segment. But the rest of the movie is you're following the band and the crew and all that as they're trying to survive. It's a fun movie. Blood Tracks. So guys, moving on, we are moving on to Vinegar Syndrome Pictures, or I think, well, they're VSP, I think. Is it Pictures or Productions? I can't remember, but moving on to those. I have 3 of those titles, and the first one we've got is Black Eyed Susan. This was a pretty decent film. It was kind of hard to get through, I will be honest, but I enjoyed it. It was weird, but it was a decent film. Kind of AI. Think of if you took Companion, the movie Companion, but kind of made it more raunchy, I guess, is the best way I can describe it. But there you are, Black Eyed Susan. This next one, guys, if there was ever a title that I regret picking up, this might make it. It's not to the point where I completely regret it, like I don't want to buy it, but if I had to choose, this one comes close. The New Street Trash. I had such high hopes for this, guys, and it was a massive, massive letdown for me, unfortunately. Like I said before, the effects are phenomenal. The story sucks. The acting sucks. And I said earlier, you kind of have to go into Vinegar Syndrome titles knowing that you're not getting the best movies. This is on another level, in my opinion. This is almost borderline. It's boring and unenjoyable, to be honest with you. The humor doesn't land, but the packaging's cool. I really, really dig the packaging. The back, Melt the Rich. Packaging's fun. Movie kind of sucks. Street trash. And my last VSP title, this was actually my first VSP title, and this was a good movie. This is kind of one of those trippy movies. 8 Eyes. It follows this couple that goes on a vacation in Romania, and they come across this Romanian guy who decides to give them a little tour and ends up pulling them into their kind of cult. And but it's a good movie. I highly recommend this one if you haven't checked it out. 8 Eyes. So this next one, guys, I forget what the sub label is. Oh, here we go. Canadian International Pictures. This one was a FOMO purchase. I saw that it was going really fast, and I was like, man, I love the actor, Keanu Co. Keanu Reeves, I love that actor, and I didn't want to miss out. I still need to check it out, but I think this has 3 films in it, and it's like one of his very first films he has ever been in. But there you are, Keanu Co. So guys, this next one, I finally finished watching this one. This one, I had to stop, I think, because I was doing a live with John Doe Juggalo, and I had to stop watching it, and it just took me a couple of days to pick it back up. This is a very, very fun movie. Iced. Visually and quality-wise is not the best. It's part of their DeGazer video line. And like I've said, it's VHS quality is really what it is. But, looking past that, I had a good time. It's, again, a very cheesy, campy, predictable storyline, but it's one of those, you turn your brain off, you'll enjoy it. But there you are, Iced. So guys, this is my other DeGazer video that I currently do own, and I got this simply based off of the title alone and because it's Trey Parker, and of course it is Cannibal the Musical. This is I really, really like this movie. It had me laughing throughout the whole movie. You've got the creator of South Park, so it's going to have that type of humor in it. And it's funny. You could hear the South Park voices kind of in the background sometimes in certain scenes, and you just got to laugh. But there you are. If you haven't seen it, definitely check it out. There you are, Cannibal the Musical. So guys, this one is my one and only Cinematograph. And this got recommended to me by 80s Made. And I am so glad I checked this out. It's a Western. It's not your typical Western. Jack Nicholson's Goin South. Hilarious movie. Jack Nicholson wrote, directed, and starred in this movie. It's a great film. I really, really, really enjoyed it. And I'm so glad that this was my first Cinematograph. I got this on the Black Friday sale, so I got a really good price on it, and I had a good time. My wife even enjoyed it. She doesn't even like Westerns, and she had a good time with this. So if you haven't seen it, please go check this out. I think you're really going to enjoy it. Goin South. So guys, we are moving on to my one and only Dark Star. I think it's Dark Star Production, Dark Star Pictures. I grew up watching this movie. I remember seeing this when I was younger, but Fear.com. I just bought this simply out of nostalgia, and I didn't own it, obviously, but this slip is really, really nice. Definitely prefer this slip over the traditional, that kind of blue face. You guys know which one I'm talking about, but this is a good movie. Have a lot of fun with this. Fear.com. So we are moving on to my last partner label that Vinegar Syndrome works with, and this is the Shudder label. Now, I do currently have every single one, and this is the only Vinegar Syndrome partner label that I currently keep up with, and I try to get every single one. This one right here, this is one of those crazy LSD acid trip type movies. There's some really creepy imagery in this movie. We've got a Wounded Fawn. These two people go on a date and they go back to his house, and she finds out he's a killer. And it goes off the rails from there. But it's a fun movie. I think you guys will really enjoy it if you enjoy those kind of crazy trip movies. But there you are, a Wounded Fawn. So guys, moving on. I haven't seen this one yet. This is their latest release, and the trailer makes it look really good. The Strings. I don't know anything about it, but like I said, this is the label that I currently keep up with, even if I haven't seen the movie. I have all of them, so I got to keep going. But there you are, The Strings. This next one, I know I'm probably going to get hate for this. I still need to watch like two of these. This one and one other one, I should say. But this one, I believe it's called Saloum. It's Once Upon a Time in Africa. It's about this African mob, is pretty much from what I understand. I still need to check it out. It's all in a different language, but that's what's really cool about Shudder is they're really branching out from just the horror genre. Obviously, that's my favorite of their movies, but I really need to check this out. It looks really interesting. So there you are, Saloum. So my next one, this is a Christmas movie, and it's kind of a sick and twisted Christmas movie. The Sacrifice Game. This was a fun one. Takes place at an all-girls school that these group of killers come in to sacrifice them for their cult. And I did not realize when I first saw the movie, that guy right there, can't remember his name, but he is Aladdin in the live action Aladdin. This guy is crazy. He goes from Prince Ali to this cult leader who worships Satan. You know, it's an insane movie, but it's fun. The Sacrifice Game. So guys, this is this other one. I started this movie, but I haven't gotten to finish it. And this is probably the craziest movie I own. I would think, I don't know, Eraserhead's pretty out there, but this one's pretty wild too. Reminds me of Eraserhead and how crazy it gets. I think it's Kuso. You have a dude taking a crap on the slipcover. That's how you know the movie's wild. Like I said, I started it, and I started on Shudder because I wanted to at least see what I'm getting myself into before I actually bought it and watched it. So I kind of know what it is, but it's a trip. But there you are, Kuso. So guys, moving on. This one is a fun movie. My wife really enjoyed this one as well. Influencer. This is a creepy movie in the way that it shows you what people are capable of. Now, I don't know how realistic some of this is. I don't want to give it away, but if you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. The Island. That's all I'm going to say. So other than that, it was a pretty decent film. Had a good time. It's one of those you can kind of turn your brain off and watch. But slipcover is really, really neat. I do enjoy that. But there you are, Influencer. All right, guys, we are coming down to the last few. This one is a high recommended documentary. If you guys enjoy found footage movies, which I have said in the past, it is my favorite subgenre of horror, and that still holds true to this day, the found footage phenomenon. This documentary, it just goes over the history of found footage, and they get all the writers and directors from tons of found footage movies in the past back, and they have a massive documentary. Definitely check this one out if you guys are into this genre, and if you guys like documentaries, which I do. So there you are, the found footage phenomenon. And I've even found out about movies that I had never seen that I went and checked out and fell in love with because of that documentary. So guys, this was their very first Shudder partner label title. This is #1. And this one I think is a New Year's Eve, or it's like a post-Christmas. It's either Christmas Eve or New Year's Eve. I can't remember. But this was a good one. It's one of those movies that takes place in one room, Brooklyn 45. This is a fantastic movie. I love movies, if done right. It takes place in one location. And about this, it wasn't even a real location. It was a set that they had done. They didn't have a ceiling. They didn't have a roof, so they were able to get some really, really cool shots that if they were in a room that size that's in the movie, they wouldn't have been able to get the shots that they got. So that's why they did it the way they did it. But such a good movie. You guys really need to watch this. Brooklyn 45. And of course, these are all on Shudder if you have the streaming service. So if you have that, you have no reason to not watch these. So this one's a pretty decent movie. I do enjoy it. But we've got Attachment. It's been a bit since I watched this one, but I did enjoy it. I had a good time. Not much to say with this one, but there you are, Attachment. So this next one, this is one that I had said earlier that like Roadhouse and one other is probably my favorite Vinegar Syndrome release that I own. And this is that other one we're talking about, The Sadness. This is like a zombie movie. It spins the whole pandemic and gives it a different perspective of, it's a lot of, I don't want to say satire because that kind of makes you think it's funny, but it's not, but it plays on it, I guess is the best way to say it. Very, very gory movie, but fantastic. I love this movie, and I am so excited that Arrow is going to be carrying some Shudder titles. I think it's just Arrow UK, and that's just more that I got to collect. They did say they were doing The Sadness in their kind of announcement they did, but this one is phenomenal. I love the artwork there, the hard, rigid slip on it. Excellent movie, The Sadness. And if you guys are wondering, you guys probably see, I kind of have to hold them at an angle like this because of the glare. Like all of the protectors for the actual hard slips, you can get all that stuff on Vinegar Syndrome's website. The regular slip covers from Vinegar Syndrome, I use the Steelbook protectors from Malco cases. They work perfectly on that. So I'll link all that down below for you too. And the last one, this one is what I was saying earlier. I have one more, like the standard Vinegar Syndrome releases, but this one is, I don't have a slip, unfortunately, but this one was actually gifted to me by Bearded Film Guy when I bought Scanner Cop 1 and 2 from him. So thank you so much for this Body Melt. I'm on the hunt for a slip for this. So if any of you guys watching this, you have the slip, hit me up on Instagram because we'll talk. Because I would love to get the slip for this because the slip looks amazing. But there you are, Body Melt. And guys, that's my entire Vinegar Syndrome collection. Like I said, I know it's not the biggest out there, but I enjoy what I have. And the Shudder ones, you know, I'm going to continue collecting those. And the standard Vinegar Syndrome titles, I like I said, I pick and choose kind of what I want. I don't just get everything from them. Anyways, guys, that is the video for you today. Hope you enjoyed it. And of course, you all take care.